Hi. Hi, I'm hoping that you might find your way here. I think I might have um, mucked up the code. So I think that I ended up with two codes and that this may be the second one. So yeah, chat amongst yourselves for a couple of moments while I just let people know I'm here. Okay, I'm here on this link, everyone. Who's there? Say hi, pop your name in the chat. Kia ora, Starbuck. Well, I imagine that all of you who are here and those who are yet to arrive are feeling really, I want to say the full punch of these energies. They are massive. I've written quite a few posts of late. Hello, BU. Hello. I've written quite a lot of posts of late because I've really been on this journey with my pain body. So you may or may not know or remember, but I had a really bad fall through the decking of the place I was moving out of on a board that was placed but not screwed or nailed down, and there were a few of them. But yeah, I went through one. It flipped up. I was carrying a 15-20 kg plant pot, and I went down through it and then forward while I was holding this big weighty pot. It wrenched my shoulder and sprained my ankle. But initially, everything just felt bruised. And it took an entire month for it to start coming out. So I have been not sleeping well. I've been sleeping, well, probably erratically, but many of you may have been doing that without the body pain because of what we're going through. And I've been going to acupuncture and to physio and to some physical training sessions like I normally do in a bid to get everything back to normal. But I've got increased movement, but I had very limited movement with my left arm above my head, behind my back, and out to the side. So now I'm kind of I'm getting there, but I'm still not right, and sleep's not that great. Anyway, that's why I've just been doing the posts, because I've not felt up to being here. So I'm here and welcome, and my word, are we in amongst it? It's quite incredible. These energies are designed to change us in a positive way, but it doesn't necessarily feel positive in an easy way or a joyful way. We've kind of got to look beyond it. But yeah, we're in this cellular change that we've been speaking about here on this channel, and many other people have as well. It's not exclusive information. Changing the cellular level, on the cellular level, from a carbon base to a crystalline base. And this is so that we can live in this higher dimensional frequency, which is arriving here to kind of nurture us, if you like, and transform us, so that we can transmorph into this higher being. We'll still be in physical form, but we are enhancing our light body so that our higher dimensional body and our physical body are having this kind of merging, which we've been speaking about here for a while as well. But it's like it's landed in our physical world. No, it's not there. I can feel a. No, I don't think I can. Oh, yeah, maybe I can. Sorry, just visually distracted by that little bit of fluff. Yeah, so hello Lego Flip, and hello Sweet CC. Um, so what I am going to do is just briefly speak to you of the notes that I've written today, which is about today and about some things that Gaia has said and about the divine masculine. So I have heard, by the way, of at least three. There are at least three people who have messaged me on some platform. I think one publicly, but anyway, who are in some kind of connection in the physical with their divine counterpart, with their divine masculine. So curious to know where you are at with that. And yeah, so here we are on the last day of November. I want to say that November started with these ascension energies coming in for the body and for the planet on the first day of November, building to a very strong ascension ignition on the 11th, and that it's continued building since then. And it's this idea that light workers or first wavers are becoming more and more embodied with their higher dimensional aspects. More of your gifts will be being turned on, and that it's down, it's where the rubber hits the road, really. And so we've been doing this incrementally, bit by bit, with the light that's been coming through from the cosmos, and it's been carrying codes that are activating our DNA. And it may be that you might be feeling it in your spine. That is the main place that I'm showing that this DNA activation will be taking place. But you may be feeling it in other parts, and definitely there's been quite a lot of conversation being had across my table anyway about the left side, about the divine feminine aspect being elevated, coming into the arising, and that it is a very small group of beings, a very small group that I belong to, of beings, powerful beings here in New Zealand. We were having conversation about this, that a lot, there were women that we knew, including ourselves, who were having this sort of extreme experience on the left-hand side, and it was physical and painful and achy. And when I asked Gaia about it, she said that we are birthing our new human. And so light workers are birthing themselves, especially the divine feminine, birthing yourself, your new human self. And to me, it's not human 2.0. To me, we already have done human 2.0. To me, this is human 3.3. You will have heard me speak about this, but we're doing it in the physical. It's like we're birthing ourselves through the feminine aspect of self. And so it is coming with some aches and pains. And in doing that, we are like birthing the light of ascension for the world. So it's no small job, and it probably is taking its toll on you. And you may be feeling very exhausted, and your sleep patterns are likely all over the place, and at times probably so deep that you are, you wake up feeling groggy and disconnected and disorientated. But yeah, let me know where you're at with that. But this is, the notes that came for today. So it was really interesting. So here we are, the last day of November, having gone through what I regard as 30 days of things coming in that are to do with physical ascension for humanity, planet, and individual. And also this, it rolls into December, but this is the preparatory receipt of these ascension energies. Yeah. So this was the lovely imagery I got shown this morning. It was like a pillowcase on the horizon, and it was as though someone just picked up the corner of it, and under the corner of it was this glow of light. It was soft. It was soft, mauves and pinks and gold. And so that was this glowing light, but it came with this sense of wonder. It came with this energy of curiosity. It carried this freshness, this newness, and innocence. So those were the words that came when I was seeing it. And I wrote in here, it's like energy we need to tiptoe through just because it's just so delicate and fine. And it's brand new, high frequency. That's what I got about the energy today. It's another brand new. We're going through, I believe, cycles of 3 days, not necessarily each of us doing the same thing or at the same time, doing the same thing, but not necessarily at the same time. But I believe in cycles of 3 days, the energy's coming in, and then we are purifying as a result of those energies. That it's bringing up the old, that's bringing up the ancient, it's bringing up what's not required any longer, so that we can be more and more purified. And then the next thing is that we are embodying the light that's left, that's for enhancement, and then integrating that. So it's like this cycle of three days, if you like, of receipt, of purification, of integration and embodiment. Yeah, and I want to say that I've been hearing this song, and I haven't necessarily been hearing it correctly, but I know what the song is, and it's down. It's da-da-da-da. No, it's anyway. It's down to the bone. And a moment ago, the tune was in my head, but I can't think what the intro is. That's why I fumbled on that. But it is Down to the Bone. It's a George Thorogood and the Destroyers. It's one of their songs, and it's yeah, it's just got this sort of guitar entry, which is not playing well in my head at the moment. But this is us. We are down to the bone. It really feels like that's a strong metaphor for where we're at as the first wavers of humanity in our ascension process. We are now releasing from the bones, from from the blood, from the marrow, from the bones, from the ancient. So clearing right down to that. And yeah, so I know I've told you this story before, but I want to remind you so that you can sort of have an overview of the camping ground. How if you think about the camping ground, a camping ground with lots of tents pitched on it, and that the divine feminine and the divine masculine are in that camping ground, but the divine feminine have left, they've taken their swords and they have left the camping ground, they've gone into a new forest, and they have started clearing the space, the way for the new. And that's what the divine feminine have been doing. And the divine masculine have been pulling out the tent pegs and knocking down the tents and packing them up and clearing off the ground. So that's them, clearing out the physical, and then they're following the divine feminine. And then when those connections come together, they're building the new systems and new structures. And the masculine have a very strong role to play in that. It's like the feminine might create them up. They might create the ideas, the constructs, but the masculine do the building. Yes. So that's right. The 3-day cycle, everyone in a different phase, pulling in light, energy and codes, purification created as a result, and release of what is no longer required, and then coming into integration of the higher. And then the song that came was the song from the movie Aladdin of It's a Whole New World. So both of those songs have been playing in my head for the last few days. So all of this month we have been receiving these brand new cosmic codes. Don't know about you, but for me, I've been seeing a lot of repeat numbers in the 111 or 1111, and I think I saw 111111 one day, and or the 44 or the 444. But you might have your own numbers, but I imagine that lots of you are seeing lots of those. And then the other thing that happened, so that was sort of today I've had a couple of times where I've tuned in. And then, yeah, so I've written in here, so we're receiving this into our bodies for purification, clearing, and DNA reconnection and activation. And then also, I got today, it was like I got taken and I was seeing the dolphins in the water. And I haven't ever connected to the dolphins, even though I went and did that dolphin trip. That was all about connecting to Atlantis and the codes and the memories of Atlantis and the job I had to do around that with the Emerald Order and the Emerald Fractal. But I heard the dolphins are calling, and it's not a surprise because it's only yesterday, the day before, in the last few days that Rebecca Gambles and I have spoken about booking a time because she was given an opportunity, and her and I have been speaking about doing some things together, and we spoke last week about, would we run a like a divine union workshop series in Bimini, and because we were offered, or she was offered, that space at the beginning of September. So just a heads up, we haven't written it, but we've energetically felt into it, and it feels very powerful. And so her and I are going to be running a trip swimming with the dolphins in Bimini in September of 2025. So the dates are from the 7th until the 13th. If you think that might be something you'd like to do, just save the dates, and sometime in the next couple of weeks we'll have at least put some kind of outline together. But yeah, it was really interesting. I saw this image of the dolphins as though they were calling to me when I attuned to Gaia this morning. I want to tell you the energy today, very, very delicate. And I'll share this interesting thing that happened. I found myself placing my left hand on this part of my face as I was tuning into Gaia. It was really delicate, and I felt special in a loving way. And she said, and it always applies to me and to you, even though she's just saying it to me, it always applies to all of us. She was reminding me that she is holding us through this transition and into the new, that ascension energies are gathering momentum. And then she showed me this imagery of this vertical spiraling light. It was this pale blue light, and each of us are climbing the spiral of this pale blue light. It's not just a vertical, but it's moving vertically. It's got some breadth to it. And she said, we are each climbing this, and light workers are leading the way, forming the trail or the pattern for others to follow. So you could see it as, it's a bit macabre, I guess, to call it the Hansel and Gretel story, following the breadcrumbs. But it's the idea that what each of us are doing is we're creating the pathway. We are laying down the stones. We are, identifying the steps. We are forging the way so that others can more easily follow it. It's that idea of we're doing the hard work so that others can do it more easily. And some of it is about, let's get out of here. And I don't mean leaving the planet, but I mean, we need to, the planet needs to ascend. We need to ascend. And so it's like an all hands on deck kind of call out. So we're forming the trail or the pattern for others to follow. And then this enables us to ascend. We can begin the creation of our new world. That's what we'll be doing with our beloveds. This new reality, this new way of being. And so that's why right now it's really important for each of us to rest, to honor ourselves, It's very crucial for us to be looking after our own well-being. And so be still, be in commune with nature, in connection to nature, attuned to yourself, to your beautiful heart, and be guided by your heart in connection to your higher self. So, you're working as a team, higher self, head being guided by the heart as you attune, connecting to Gaia, to the earth, to nature. And I want to tell you that for the Divine Masculine Collective, and I'm saying that because as I'm tuning into them, it's like, it's big. It's massive for them. They have got this explosive energy running through their spine. Their Kundalini is activated, excuse me. They've got these huge heart openings occurring. If you imagine that the heart is surrounded by, I don't know that it is, but if you imagine that, so the rib cage that supports and protects our heart, and imagine that there's cartilage around there that's being like wrenched. So it's easier to imagine cartilage than bone, but it's like the cartilage around their hearts is being wrenched open. It's actually, I would say, it's painful for them. So they're having these huge heart openings. The beliefs from their mental mind are collapsing. The programs that no longer fit are coming up. So their beliefs, their conditioning, their programming, it's all coming up to be examined, and examined through the heart, examined from a different perspective, examined from a higher dimensional space. So a lot of it is no longer a fit. It doesn't fit with their higher self, with their purpose, with their mission, with their divine assignment. And so it's either falling away through their examination of, well, do I believe this to be true any longer? Am I happy doing this? Am I content in this relationship? Is this the work I want to be doing for the rest of my life? And there's a lot of no's coming up with that. There's a lot of, no, this doesn't feel right anymore. No, I don't want to do this any longer. No, I'm over this. I've had enough. I need to get out of here. Those kinds of narratives that are running through the Divine Masculine's mind, because they are asked to be being aligned to their higher divine mission and purpose. And so this is the collapse of their mental conditioning. But all of this is occurring now, right now, for the Divine Masculine, for our beautiful Divine Masculine. And so you may have been experiencing some of their emotional pain, Divine Feminines. You may have been feeling that and wondering, is this mine? And probably it isn't. Excuse me. So all of this occurring for the beautiful Divine Masculine who are morphing into the incredible beings that you know your Divine Masculine and I know my Divine Masculine to be. We see them very clearly as to who they are, to become who they are in their higher aspect, who they will be becoming to be our partner. So they're moving into I thought this is lovely, into their own majesty, having gathered up their own self-worth. Now, you will know that we talked about that being something that we did either earlier this month or last month. The Divine Feminine really stepping into claiming themselves and owning their own worth, their own worthiness, and speaking it out loud and declaring that that is what they want. That's what the Divine Feminine want. They want their equal match. They don't want a partner that's not up to speed, that's not holding that matching energy. So the masculine are processing out either by default or by the universe playing a role. So that's the place that God is playing, or higher consciousness or divine energy is, I want to say, running interference here, running the pressure, moving things along. Anything that isn't in alignment for anybody in relation to their higher purpose and divine mission. But, there's not it's not a hierarchy, but at the moment that's the divine feminine that are leading the way with that, and the divine masculine are now being asked to step up into that so they can these partnerships can come together. And so in the physical, regarding jobs, leaving or being fired or made redundant. So a lot of that will be happening. They won't all be doing the same. Not every divine masculine will be having exactly the same experience, but these are just some of the examples. They, may be losing their houses or exiting a relationship, and so the partner is having the house and they're having to move out. They might have to be, shifting locations to get a job somewhere else, but all of the sort of movement on the chessboard, if you like, everything is happening in the physical now. Shifting consciousness for many is playing a strong role with that. So yeah, a few messages have arrived regarding union. So I just want to invite you, if you have had messages from your divine masculine, or if you have come into some physical connection union in the last few weeks, yeah, do invite you to share in the chat what that is, how it's feeling, if you are able to. I know that for some that won't be so simple to share in a public space. But yeah, that is what I have for you today. And let me read in the chat. So Lego Flip, hopefully you've heard all that and you can slide off to a lovely sleep. Numbers galore, Billy is saying. Sweet CC is saying 111 so much, and 444. Yeah, her and I, we've never met. I know that those of you who are on the channel, you probably think that we've met, but we never have. And yet we are frequently having the same experiences, sequences. So on the numbers thing, I was in conversation with a friend from Canada, and she sent me something, and I said to her, "Oh, that message you sent me was 444. I've been seeing 444 and 111 and 1111 for the last few days. Excuse me." And she sent me a message back, and it was 11 seconds long. And then I sent her a message that was 11 seconds long, and we were voice messaging. And so that was like 11. So we had this 444, and then we had 111 seconds, and then we had 11 seconds, and then we had 11 seconds again, and then 1 second. It was just hilarious. Heart palpitations. I hope you're okay with that, Gazelle. I feel that a lot of heart palpitations will be being felt. We definitely, it's hard to envisage really, but you may remember me speaking ages ago about how we were going to have changes in our physical body, where actually we were going to have physical organ changes, and that the heart was going to become was becoming more toroidal in its nature. And so to me, it's always had this energetic torus field around it, the heart, but that we were going to have like this double torus through the heart, and that it would become like a pumping mechanism that went through one and then through both and then through the second, and that we were going to have changes to our eyes, so eye upgrades, eyes being able to see further, to see more detail, to have a zoom feature in the end, have a wide angle feature in the end, things like that, that they were going to become triangulated with our third eye, enhancing our psychic vision. And I can't remember the other things off the top of my head. I'm still pretty tired. But yes, this physical change as we're integrating our higher self to our physical self, our higher dimensional physicality into this merging. But we want to be merging up, not down. So, imagine that in our three-dimensional body that we are arising to the fifth dimension, and higher, to that higher frequency, and embodying up rather than embodying down. So I might have put you a little bit awry with the way I described it earlier, but yeah, let's move up. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's been a bit of a journey for me, I tell you, this shoulder. 33 always big for Billy, and 777, 999, and 444 have been prominent. Oh yeah, 777s have been a big number for me too. So, we're on the verges of this tipping into the new ascension. We've begun, is what Gaia says. We've begun ascension. She said a couple of days ago, I think I wrote it, that we were, that was like the internal of the light workers. And on the 11th, they had this ignition, right? We spoke about that. That ignition was going to spread through like the organic kind of morphing light. It's not perfectly round, but it's, rounded in shape, and like the moon spreading. And that was going to be this kind of energetic ignition. And then that was this idea that then that will move through and be accessible to others. Remember, like the ink on wet blotting paper. So, you become that little bit of ink in your heart, and you ignite it through your work, and then that spreads out to others. And that it's this sort of movement, this morphing, this shifting for the collective that has been begun by light workers, and that's you. And that we really are moving up into this higher dimensional experience where we will be creating our new world. And in a way, the divine feminine are creating it, and the divine masculine are building it. That's how I would see it, but we'll be doing that kind of in tandem. Anyway, I think that's all that I have. And taking good care of yourself is a priority. And just know that, well, remember the whole story about, I wonder if, I've got some notes here to remind you that the alignment comes through the teaching and the learning from what the heart is guiding us to do. To remember to keep asking, who are you and who are you becoming? I don't know about you, but for me, well, I put this jumper on. I don't know why, because I've been like a firebox, been really hot on the inside, and this is part of this transmutation that we're going through, and I'm drinking a huge amount of water, and I want to say that's the advice for everyone. That will help us flush out the impurities, and that will help us to be cooled through these because these are fire codes that are coming in now as part of our DNA activation and upgrade. So Starbuck has written a message. Gazelle's saying heart palpitations, and Starbuck is saying divine masculine here have been incredibly deep in this experience. I can feel that as I read that message. Have gone into isolation. Yes, that's what a lot of divine masculines are doing. Thank you for that confirmation. To integrate these new energies and finally release the most stubborn of old. Thank you, Starbuck. Yeah, that's very poignant, very pertinent, very related to what I've been writing. I wonder if there was something else I wrote. I thought that there was. Oh yeah, so a lot of old survival programs are being released through the mostly probably through the root chakra. That will be maybe in coordination with the Kundalini energy. Oh, and yeah, I wrote about this. To remain present, one of the things that you can do is just ask yourself, what are 5 things that I can see in this moment? And just note them. And then what are 5 sounds that I can hear? And then 5 things that, or aromas, perfumes that you can smell that might be more challenging. And then about feeling in your body. And just take a few breaths as you're doing that. I wanted to say this light language that came. Oh, I'm getting a lot of energy running through my head right now. But itianara akasha iti oa waatashi, and the translation for that, you might have felt that because it carries quite a lot of energy. All is well in our world if we focus on peace in each moment. Yeah, so see, hear, feel, smell, notice, or intuit, and to just use that as, you can use that as another practice. I know I'm always giving you bits and pieces of practice to bring into the new. I have to tell you that my Divine Masculine sent me a message in the ethers that was, I am coming. I have a lot to do before I get there, though. I'm feeling a bit manic, but I am coming. Yeah. A note about being in temperance or moderation. Be moderate in all that you do at the moment. This will support your body in the many layers of change that are occurring. And also, this applies to the changes we are observing in others who are perhaps in a different level of change and transition, and in our observation of societal and government changes and its impact on all of us. So it's just, just kind of sit back a little bit and just watch it. It is changing. I want to tell you that it's changing faster than perhaps we're being shown. I believe there are a lot of things that have already occurred in the background, and that they are just being released in a way that enables people, humans, to receive it without going into overwhelm, without going into cognitive dissonance. For you, the nice analogy I was given was, imagine that you are on a boat, a yacht, a little sailboat, and you've got your hand around the mast, and look forward over the bow. Keep your eyes on that horizon. Yeah, because we're sort of continually moving into new levels of consciousness. Yeah, so breathing through your spine, breathing the energy through your spine, and connecting and grounding deeply into Gaia, into the earth. They're very high frequencies, they're very fast, they're very quick, they're very purifying, and they're very transformative. So also be mindful of how you sit and how you stand with your spine. Keep it straight. Yeah, so I think that's it. And so I send you big hugs and lots of love, and looking forward. Oh, here's another message. Yeah, and I just love that you've shared all that, Starbuck, because yeah, that is how I read the Divine Masculine collective energy, that they were like isolating themselves, just like you've said, that they were taking themselves into solo time, alone time, probably trekking the mountain, heading to the bush, moving around the edge of a lake, all of that kind of in that alone, connecting with self. Gazelle is saying DM has come back in, reconnected on 11/11 per his plan, feeling now like he is a distraction to my soul purpose, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, well, just find your way through it a little bit at a time. She's saying, or Gazelle is saying it's better than before, but feeling like not quite there yet. Myself projected out. Yeah, that's really profound noticing. Well done. Yeah, I think that for a lot of the divine feminine, that might be our challenge, is that it's felt like we have been waiting for a long time, but actually it's because the timing of it is related to ascension, and so we can be perhaps strong in our response. And so I want to invite the divine feminine in response to be gentle, to send your energies out in a very soft kind of, in the way of, think tendrils of smoke from a fire that's just been lit. Send your love to your divine masculine like that. Starbuck's been spending a lot of solo time with Gaia. Beautiful. Hello, Jen. All right, so much love to all of you. Go gently with yourself. We're in the throes of it. It's inevitable now that we are in ascension as human, as the collective, and as the planet. And so it's a matter of nurturing ourselves and one another through this. So I will see you again soon. Much love.